forecast, we're expecting conditions to become a bit more favorable for it to get its act together a bit more. But right now, no doubt, there's no doubt that it is struggling a bit.
Now here's a look at some of the winds. And in terms of observations, we've got one buoy down here, 42058, which is showing wind gusts of 22 miles per hour, and watching that wind direction as well, not really lining up with what we expect the flow to be at that point. I mean, it's one spot, which is why the hurricane hunters are out there to get many more spots in observation.
And they're out there now. There'll be another flight at 4 o'clock and another one tomorrow morning. So all these flights go into getting a better fix on how this thing is behaving and what may be to come when it comes to this tropical storm right now. But yeah, Jen, look at this. I mean, how do you see a cone that looks more like a basketball?
Right. And that's because the cone is based on historical error, and because it's not expected to move very much, you just keep drilling circles with the historical error around the positions, and it's not going far. And so that brings us a lot of concern. One, of course, if it's sitting there, it'll bring the impacts for longer, but it also has more chance to strengthen if conditions allow it to, especially given the warm, deep ocean water we have.
Exactly. So there are those alerts that are in place. We've got tropical storm warnings and hurricane watches here in Jamaica. Hurricane watches here as you work your way along the coast of Haiti.
Well, let's get more on what's going on with Melissa. And Greg, you too have mentioned that the appearance of it doesn't show a lot of signs of strengthening right now.
Yeah, not right now, guys. You're right about that. But, you know, we're still seeing some very impactful weather across the southern coast of the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Not a wind problem here, but certainly a lot of heavy rain moving onshore. It's been doing that now for days. Thunderstorms, perhaps some breezy conditions as well. Whereas the core of Tropical Storm Melissa is hundreds of miles away. It's actually way out over here, but still long distance away. We're seeing a significant weather impact, even right now, across parts of western Puerto Rico and other areas nearby. So this has been an issue for us again in the last 60, 72 hours, and will continue to be that way. And you can see sort of the overall asymmetric appearance of the presentation of Melissa in the satellite pictures. I put on the reconnaissance mission here to show you roughly where the low-level center is. It's all the way over here, but yet so much of the bad weather is east of that, is on the right side of the system. So the right semicircle, the eastern semicircle, is where, for now, the most impactful weather is, and that's presumably because there's significant wind shear still impacting it, at least 20 knots. That's a lot. And there's also dry air on the western side of it as well. That's now. But let's talk about in the future, because it's going to be hanging out in the Caribbean for a while. And this is only one operational run from the European Center's data, giving us a landfall very likely early next week in or near Jamaica, perhaps even eastern Cuba, early next week. That is certainly a likely outcome. Now, there are others. The GFS continues to insist on a path through Haiti and Hispaniola, let's say in the next 48 hours. I think the GFS thinks Melissa's in a different place than it actually is right now. So it might be biased a little bit with that right track. Something to watch closely over the next 36 hours. European Center continues to, like clockwork, advertise this thing slowly meandering in the Caribbean over the coming days and eventually very significantly impacting Jamaica. And that is something to consider. This is the Hurricane Center's forecast, and according to the NHC and its extrapolated outcome here, it does appear that a Caribbean landfall is coming early next week from a hurricane with pretty high intensity.
Waves of problems crash ashore on the mainland from heavy surf, high wind.